from GatewayPundit.com. That would be Jim Hoft. Jim, you know, a lot of people may not realize, Jim, that you and we got to know each other as activists. I mean, you and I wasn't doing this and you weren't, well, you were doing that, but we were both very much on a smaller scale then, and you've blossomed and been so successful, but we knew each other when, right?
Yeah, way back in 2009, we both spoke at a Tea Party rally on tax day, and that was the first time I got to hear Dr. Gina speak in public. It was wonderful.
It was, and we had megaphones. I mean, we were the real deal, throwing tea in the river, afraid the environmentalists were coming after us. It was the whole real thing. Anyway, Jim, it's impressive what you've built with your site, of course, and being the one who breaks so much of the news these days. Jim, let's get this out of the way first, because President Trump's first 100 days are up tomorrow, and the lamestream media would have you believe that he's in some sort of panic to prove that he's done something. I look at Obama's very expensive stimulus package versus President Trump's 660,000 jobs, bringing all the business back to America, opening the Keystone Pipeline. I mean, the list goes on, Jim, and yet the lamestream media refuses to acknowledge it. Thank God for outlets like you, but what can we do about this?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like two different worlds. We're seeing the reality of what's going on, and then we're seeing what's happening with the mainstream media, and it's all they want to talk about is Russia, which is insane and always was insane. That wasn't the reason they lost, and Trump has he has no connections with any Russian leader. So it's just been nonsense watching the mainstream media, Gina, and I think that's why people tune into shows like yours and the Gateway Pundit website they read, and we have a big story today on Drudge Report where we listed out some of those accomplishments. And Trump has been very successful, as you said. I heard you mention that earlier on Fox Business Channel, and the 660,000 jobs. The fact that he's fighting ISIS now, he's bringing the fight to the enemies. We're not leading from behind anymore. The fact that NATO's donating, all these countries are now donating their fair share to the alliance rather than sitting back and watching America, fund the whole thing. The fact that he's trying to keep America safe from these predators of ISIS who want to get in our country. The list just goes on and on. It's been very successful. One of the most successful first 100 days we've ever seen, and yet the media is in this alternative universe.
They really are, and if you look at some of the things they've said about him, it's so despicable. About 90% of the coverage of the president in his first 99 days so far, about 90% of that, I'm sorry, according to the Media Research Center, Jim, has been negative. You contrast that, still according to Media Research Center, with 70 to 80%, somewhere in there, of Obama's first 100 days being positive. And you realize there really is a disconnect here. And then you compare things like something that you've reported, I believe was an ABC poll that said that 98% of the people who voted for President Trump would vote for him again. That's unprecedented, Jim, and yet it goes largely unspoken.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? And another study that came out just this week found that 20% of Trump voters voted for Obama at least one time, maybe twice, some of these people, and that gets no coverage. See, the Democrats and their media today attacking all these Trump voters, it's a big mistake because these were people who supported Obama, and they're not likely to go back on that plantation if the Democrats continue to berate them, call them racist, Nazis, and everything else under the sun. I'm just so glad they're not having the impact that they used to have. Really, it's a new day, Gina, and it's time for new media to take over.
Well, that's right, and you make a great point, and there's a perfect entree, if you will, Jim, and that only 32% of people find the lamestream media, the regular alphabet soup media, trustworthy anymore. They're dying on the vine, and that goes for the print media too. Look at the failing New York Times. Look at even the way ESPN has gone down the tube since they decided to get political and anti-conservative and jump on the PC board. And so it really does leave a very nice open space for outlets like yours and like this one that will fill that void, because the American people, they know better now, don't they?
Oh, they absolutely do. And, lie to me once, shame on me. Lie to me a second time, shame on you. It's ridiculous what the media has gotten away with all these years. And what's wonderful is there was also another poll out today, Dr. Gina, and that is that people have more faith in the White House, what's coming out of the White House, than they do in the mainstream media. So they're absolutely losing.
Yeah, I'm glad to see those numbers because it really doesn't matter what they write. And as long as they keep doing the things, Jim, that lost the 2016 election, and as long as they keep believing the polls, frankly, that they believed all the way through the 2016 election, they don't stand a chance. And there are very vulnerable Democrat seats coming up in the midterm elections.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially here in St. Louis. Oh, by the way, I misquoted that quote. It's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I had that backwards. I want to correct that. But yeah, but there's a big Senate race here in Missouri where I'm at, where you used to be. Claire McCaskill is going to come back to this state, and I don't think she has a chance in hell to win this next time. I certainly hope that's the case. So we'll see.
Well, it will be interesting because I think there are a good handful of those Democrat seats coming up and there really aren't that many vulnerable Republicans. And so the Democrats better do a postmortem and the media better do a postmortem or they're all going to fail. There are rumors of a new television outlet, as you probably have heard, a new conservative television outlet coming out tonight. And so you look at all this and you think somebody's got to have learned something somewhere. But Jim, I also saw something you wrote about what kind of fight the Democrats you think will put up against President Trump. Give us an idea as this starts to materialize in your mind, and go quick because we don't have much time.
Oh, yeah. We've already seen it the first 100 days. We've never seen anything like it. We thought the way they treated Bush, Democrats, and the media was bad, but what we're going to see with Trump is it's just going to be like nothing we've ever seen before.
All right. Well, Jim, we sure appreciate all the great work you do there at gatewaypundit.com, and we appreciate you being with us tonight.